Tales from the Black Butterfly, the Coterie Chronicles is a TTRPG live play game using Vampire the Masquerade V5 as the base system. Some rules have been modified to fit the story being told and the world being built. This story is told by a bunch of friends trying to have some fun. We care more about having fun than whether we are actually following the official rules accurately, and as such, we'll bend, break, or even modify some of the rules to make things run smoother and a little more fun for us. Tales from the Black Butterfly may contain mature themes, including but not limited to body horror, graphic violence, blood, death, power imbalances, sexual themes, and social injustices. Please watch at your own discretion, and remember to take a break if needed. Consent forms have been signed by all of our players, and we use a visual and vocal check-in system as well. With that being said, please enjoy the show.
Hello, Kindred. How are we tonight? We last left off with you guys retreating, with the Coterie retreating into the bookstore. With a human in tow, a human crewmate in tow, who smells distinctly of urine. With no power on the ship, you are cloaked in pretty much complete darkness, and as you try and make your way through the bookstore, you are stopped as you come face to face with, well, you're not sure what. It looks more like a shadowy blob. Oh, you're not going anywhere already, are you? I haven't finished my meal just yet.
Storyteller, can we hear a heartbeat from this blob, whatever it is?
You are currently in a heightened state of anxiety. Your beast is still poking through. Make me an intelligence plus awareness roll, please.
Okay.
Actually, that'd be wits plus awareness, my mistake.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing heightened senses for sight to try to get any sort of visual on this guy.
You channel the blood into your senses. Your sight becomes razor sharp. You can see through some of this darkness. All you see for the moment is a formless blob that looks vaguely humanoid.
2.
You do not hear a heartbeat.
I'm just gonna look at the blob and be like, "Hi, I'm Amelie. Who are you?"
The blob doesn't respond.
Well, that's not nice.
Can I do like maybe a occult check? See if I've heard of something like this before?
Yes. Give me 1 second. I think that's wits plus occult? Just let me double check that.
Meanwhile, Amelie is mumbling out loud. Blob thinks it's too good to answer questions. So rude.
It's going to be wits plus occult, please. While you are rolling that, we're going to hop back to Sammy in just a moment. You can hear a slight gnashing of something slick and wet, almost like something's being eaten. Sammy, what did you roll? Oh, sorry, we
Two.
actually... Okay, so we've already dealt with that.
Yep.
Valerie?
Sorry, I'm really tired, so I'm counting in French, and then I'm having a hard time translating it in my head.
What's the number in French?
9. It's 9.
Okay. 9 successes?
Yes.
Seeing as you've been in existence for a while, you have a fair bit more experience than most of the coterie here. Sammy included. You've heard tell of certain types of kindred that have been able to use the shadows and bend the shadows to their will. But you don't know exactly what they're called, and you don't know much about them at the moment. You've just heard rumors through the grapevine.
Okay.
Out of character, I saw that look.
I can't. Where? Oh, why is wrong with my brain? Where's Red Lady compared to where I am right now? Sam, sorry, just took me a minute.
She's only been a vampire for about 4 years. Oh, you mean location?
Yeah.
Oh, we all pretty much backed out at the same time, so she...
Where
would
are we all like all
prob-
clumped together right now? Is basically what I guess I could ask.
That's the way that I'd envisioned it. Is that you're all
Same.
kind of clumped together.
Yeah.
All right.
I will give you this with that 9 for occult. Whatever this individual is, it appears you're dealing with an organivore.
What does that mean?
As far as you're aware, the need to consume human organs.
That's what that's called. Well,
Now
okay.
that's a good nom-nom.
The shape stands there,
I'm trying to
staring at you
remember
for a
which-
moment before... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm having a hard time finding my link to the core book, and I'm just looking for what I can do under share the senses. If anybody knows, just DM me.
That would actually be Ocean's purview tonight. Ocean is helping me run things behind the scenes.
Okay.
As you guys are taking a moment, apparently, to take stock of the situation you find yourselves in, this figure stares at you before taking a step forward. That smacking getting just a little louder. I would like the rest of my meal, please.
Do you have a name?
A name? I haven't been called a name in quite a while. That being said, I guess for the moment, the name Darla will suffice.
Blob of Darla. Got it.
The blob takes another step forward. It's heading almost right for the human.
Audley is gonna look at the others and just whisper, if you're expecting me to try and save him, probably not gonna happen, because after the hallway he looks tasty to me. So let's I'm gonna leave that up to y'all to be the morals of this group, because I lost mine with the blood in the hallway.
You
I
do
don't wanna-
realize the situation you've put everyone in, right?
You do realize I am not the blob that is eating.
Not you. Not you.
Oh,
She's talking to the blob. That felt like, yeah, sorry. Sorry, should have clarified. Yeah, no, she's talking to the blob. Sorry.
You hear a cold, high-pitched laugh. You think I care? I'm not the one who got caught.
what? I'm on your side, but this is what you want. Okay, fine. You know what, Blob of Darla, you can deal with my friends, because I'm now going silent treatment with you. That was rude. I was on your side. That was rude. Rude.
Poor manners. I'm gonna get the four of you to roll me a wits plus awareness roll, please. Difficulty 2.
Out of game, my wits plus an awareness roll would be like a -2. Because of how where we're at tonight.
That's a 4 for Elizabeth. That's a 2 for Sammy Red Skies. That's a 6 for Valerie. And a 2 for Audley.
One of mine was a 10.
It's about this time. Few of you might notice almost a tightness in your chest, anxiety spiking. Just a little bit. Or something along those lines. And that's when Valerie and Elizabeth hear a rather familiar voice coming down the hallway a moment before Grace walks into the room. She's calling out for Sammy.
Did she walk from the hallway or where exactly?
Walked from the main corridor. Darla turns to Grace and smiles. Great. There's another plaything here. You know what? I have another idea. You can have my meal. The blob starts to fade. And as soon as the blob fades, the door to the bookstore slams shut. Instantly. The moment Grace is in the room. And between you lot, a solid steel wall drops from the ceiling with only 3 very small slits in it that see to the other side, leaving Valerie on one side. Yes, Valerie.
Never mind, I'll let you finish what you're saying before I use what I was going to use.
Leaving Valerie on one side, and Sammy, Elizabeth, and Audley on the other. One moment, please. From somewhere off in the darkness, you can hear what sounds to be an old-time radio speaker of sorts, crackling to life.
I want to play a game. A divider has separated you from your companions, Valerie. On one side of this divider is a cage with a bomb in it. Any attempts to force this cage open, other than with the key, will cause it to explode, consuming this ship and everybody on it in its entirety. Where's the key, you ask? Well, that's where Elizabeth, Sammy, Grace, and Otley come in. They're on the side with the key, they just need to find it. In order to acquire it, they'll need to test their heart's resolve and put their faith in an old friend. You have 90 minutes to solve this puzzle, or the bomb will explode, again taking the entire ship with the crew and passengers to a watery grave. Good luck.
The speaker crackles once again, casting you all in silence within the room.
So we're supposed to find a key. We're not supposed to break through the Penelope, right?
Correct.
If we break through it, the bomb will go off.
Is it for sure in our part of the room, or is he talking about our part of the room and or she talking about that and all the other area behind us or whatnot?
The door slams shut, right, to where this is the only room we have to work with.
Correct. The door slams shut.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start looking around
Yeah.
for anything, any clues, heightened sense for sight to make sure I'm not missing any cracks.
And she'll click the flashlight on because at this point we're not freaking stealthing. And she'll start looking around too.
Elizabeth, please roll me wits plus awareness.
Oh, is Grace on our side?
Grace is on your side, yes.
Okay, cool.
I'm
You
stuck
said
with
wits
the bomb.
plus awareness? You are the bomb. Alrighty. Okay, 3 successes.
Your goal was 2 successes. You said you're channeling into your sight? Or into your
You know, when
hearing?
you say it like that, that makes me sound like it's a bad idea. Sight, please.
Looking around, you can make out the shape of shelves and books resting on the shelves. Walking close enough, you can almost make out the titles of the books. Almost, but it's just a little too dark. Every so often there's a shelf, and then there's an aisle people can walk through. Grace kind of whimpers for a moment, and Sammy, looking around, you can hear this gnawing in the back of your head. The distinct sound of 2 heartbeats. And your beast coos just a little bit. There's more here than meets the eye.
Oh, I figured as much. Question is where to start. If I looked at all of the books, that would take too long. But at the same time... She'll walk over, and again, she got the flashlight off of the one guard that had dropped it.
Yep.
So she's equipped with a flashlight. So she'll start... Well, first of all, is this one of those aisles or one of those bookstores that has the little subheadings above it that tells you this section is this section is this sort of layout, or how is it laid out exactly?
Yeah, so this bookstore, taking the flashlight and shining it up above near the ceiling, you can actually make out heading signs for different types, different genres of books. There's fantasy, there's romance, there's historical, there's sci-fi, there's adventure, there's regional books, there's horror, and as your flashlight moves over horror, it starts to flicker a little bit.
I'll head to the horror section. Carefully. I'm shining my light the entire time.
About halfway there, your flashlight gives out.
She'll swear slightly and go, of course you made the rules. She'll just put it in her bag and carry on.
Marley, roll me wits plus awareness, please. Oddly, rather. My apologies.
Whoever I am, it's fine. Four successes.
4 successes. Thank you very much. At the very edge of your hearing, you almost miss it. At the very edge of your hearing, you can hear what might be the sounds of somebody whimpering.
On our side?
Yep, on your side. It's coming from somewhere off in the back.
You know, every time I go near the smut section, I get in trouble. I'm gonna go that way.
Moving through the books and the aisles towards the smut section, you see shelves and you see books on the shelves, but you don't see much else. The whimpering actually seems to get just a little bit louder.
I'm gonna keep trying to follow the sound of the whimpering.
Takes you a while to pin it down where it is. As you approach the historical fiction section, from between the rows, you see a shape that almost seems to be half human and... well, it's probably a human in a wheelchair from what you can figure. With the shadows the way they are. It just kind of rolls out in front of you. And it turns in the aisle and stops, facing you.
Hi.
That's when you hear the rather familiar voice of an old black nun in a wheelchair. Oh, hi, dearie. I hope you're doing well.
I am, I think. I'm in a situation. But you know, it's life or death. Usually death.
She seems to be reaching up to her face and just kind of brushing it for a sec. We all find ourselves in a bit of a situation from time to time.
You wouldn't have happened to have seen any kind of a key laying around in here, have you?
I mean, I've seen many kinds of keys.
Have you seen any in the bookstore?
In here? No, unfortunately. You can see she's shaking a little bit. I was looking through the books and the lights went out. Do you know what's going on?
The power was lost in the ship and we're just looking for a key to open the door. It's kind of the situation right now.
I'm sorry, but I haven't seen any key.
Oh no. Okay. Well, so far, everybody's okay. And if you want, I can stick with you. I know my friends are still looking for the key, but maybe me and you will have better luck.
So you're not alone?
I have a couple of friends. They're in different sections just looking for the key.
Oh, that's good, dearie. I'm glad. Best to keep your friends around you. It's uncertain times these days.
Well, you shouldn't be alone either.
I'm never alone.
Well, even with that, I'm gonna stick close by if that's okay. I don't want anything to happen to you till we can get, at least get the door open and get everyone to safety.
Yeah, I mean, I am a bit frightened at everything that's going on here. You sure you don't mind me joining you?
I don't mind at all. I'm just looking for the key. I have nothing else to do, and you're good company, so yeah, I'll stay by you, and we'll just see if we can find that key. That way we can open the door and be okay.
The chair starts to move forward, moving kind of just behind you, almost as if to follow. And we're going to pause here for a second as we move over to Valerie.
So I am trapped in a room with a cage on one side that has a bomb in it. Correct.
You are.
Is it like... Am I just like in a locked off section of the bookstore?
Yeah, you can see the books all around you. You can hear it ticking, almost like a beeping sound coming from somewhere. You're not quite sure where, but you can hear it.
The cage itself, is the where you put the key, like the lock hole, is it obvious?
That will be intelligence plus investigation, please. No, wits plus investigation. I keep getting those two confused.
Five.
The keyhole is just close enough for you to reach your arm in through the bars and insert a key.
Does it look like a traditional keyhole? Is it a more modern-y keyhole? Is it a USB keyhole?
You've actually never seen a keyhole quite like this before, but something kind of catches your attention for a second. You can hear people talking from the other side of the bookstore, through the wall. And upon closer inspection, you notice 3 slots in the wall, which are just large enough to hear and see through. Back to the keyhole for the moment. You've never seen anything quite like this key before. You don't know anything that would fit in it.
Then how do I know it's a keyhole? And not just some random hole?
What else could it be? You don't see any other holes anywhere on this device like this.
Okay. Is there like a visual timer of any sort?
Nope. The keyhole, however, has the symbol of a heart next to it.
I took my... Oh wait, there was no... Last time we were on this, we'd lost all signal, right?
Yep. You lost all signal for your phones, for your electronic devices, when the power went out.
Is that still the case?
It is. You're taking your phone out, you look at it for a sec, and you see the familiar no service, no signal up at the top.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna dig in my pouch of things, my leg purse thing, I don't know, words, and grab my my sketch pad, and I'm just going to basically copy down the shape of the hole and stuff and the symbol that's next to it.
I believe that's a wits plus craft.
That would be a 6.
You managed to sketch a drawing of what you see with no problem at all, for the most part. It'll do. For you, it's a rough sketch. For other people, well, it takes years to learn that kind of skill.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the wall, which I will assume feels real and is
Yeah,
not just
the
some sort
wall.
of fancy schmancy illusion.
The wall, as far as you can tell, is quite solid.
I'm gonna go to where those little slots are
Mm-hmm.
and call out for Sammy.
Speaking of Sammy and Elizabeth, both of you hear Valerie's voice calling out from where the wall is. And a moment later you can pick out a piece of paper sliding through.
She'll stop where she was. Oh, I can backtrack. And then she walks over and leans down and sees the piece of paper and picks it up and she says, "What you got?"
What I hope is your keyhole and some kind of symbol next to it.
Does it
Perhaps
look
the-
like a Does it look like a keyhole that I would have recognized? Is it a time problem, or is it more just this is a weird keyhole sort of problem?
Wits plus awareness, please.
Okay.
So, wait, sorry, this is like out of character question because I'm a little confused. Is like the little thing next to it, is that also part of the key, or is that just a symbol next to it?
It's a symbol next to it. It just an indicator of some kind. You're not sure what. It's literally just, it looks like a heart.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
2 critical successes, so 4, and one of them's on a hunger die.
This keyhole, from what you can tell, the drawing of the keyhole looks like it's some sort of custom anti-tampering lock with a heart symbol next to it. You haven't seen anything like this before. This is well beyond anything you've dealt with at your pay grade.
Probably don't need to tamper with it, in case that's what you were thinking. Thanks. And then she starts right back on the path that she was going to go on. Although, actually she stops. Where is Grace?
Grace is following you.
Okay. Good.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Well, she's just going to, once she finds out that Grace is following her, she goes, good, I should have checked on you beforehand. I'm sorry. Kind of panicked. And then she starts heading for the horror section, and then stops midway and goes, be careful. Something's fiddling with things.
You hear Grace speak up. Get into these kind of situations often?
I'll admit this one is higher than normal, but occasionally, yes. First time I've had something reconfigure a room, but you learn.
Just so you know, I have absolute faith in you. And she falls silent. You can almost smell the fear coming off of her, though.
So Elizabeth's still near the door hole, or the wall hole. Yeah, we're just gonna like lean in and talk to you through it.
Grace speaks up quietly again. Just quickly. I know you're gonna do the right thing here.
That's the plan.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
Back to Valerie. Or was it Valerie?
Yeah.
Or no, it was Elizabeth.
Audley is still hanging out with some random lady.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Was it Elizabeth that was going to say something?
I was gonna say, like, I'm gonna call out to Audley to be like, hey, come look at the keyhole.
You hear Elizabeth's voice ring out from the darkness, back where you were, back where you'd originally started.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the nun and let her know, hey, since we're looking for a key, we want to know what kind of lock it's in. So, do you want to just pull up behind me and head that way, or you want me to like push you up there with us?
Oh, my arms are quite tired. Would you mind giving me a bit of a push?
Not a problem. And I'm gonna just happily push a nun up to everyone.
I'm sorry, my dear. I get tired at my age. I'm sure you try to understand.
It's okay. I don't mind. As we're pushing, as soon as I see Elizabeth, I just be like, look, I made a friend.
Sister Marie Clarence, what are you doing here?
Thought a vacation might be nice. Apparently, the universe had other things in store?
I didn't find a key, but I found a nun. Does that count for anything?
I'm gonna say yes. Yeah. So I take the slip of paper and I give it to the two of them to look at the drawing. Does that ring any bells for the two of you? Do you recognize it at all?
I'm sorry, dearie, my eyes are not what they used to be. I can't see anything other than it's just a piece of paper.
Can I pull out my phone and put the flashlight on?
In
or
the
are they
meantime,
dead?
In the meantime, from the crack you hear, "Hey, you qualify as an old friend, right, Lady Nun?"
I mean, I like to think I'm a friend. I have no ill will towards any of you.
Well, the Organivore blob creature thing gave us a riddle with the key. Something about trusting an old friend.
Elizabeth, you take your phone out, and turn the flashlight on, and the paper lights up. The nun looks at it for a moment, and she looks puzzled. And she's like, "No. I'm sorry, that doesn't look familiar." Before turning to Valerie, or at least where Valerie's voice is coming from, she just kind of turns her head a little bit. "A riddle?"
Perhaps it was an oddly phrased clue, I suppose. Perhaps it... I don't know very much about this creature that we're dealing with. I've only really heard of other people hearing of them.
What was the riddle?
I don't actually remember.
Wits plus awareness, please. I'm gonna make you
Yeah,
fucking roll for this.
Out of character, I completely forgot there was a riddle. I'm just like, yeah, like I heard everything, but it didn't click in my brain.
Nope, I'm gonna make you fucking roll for this. Please roll wits plus awareness. Difficulty 5. No, 4. It was fairly recent, so I'll cut you some slack.
Seven! And I dropped a die, damn it.
In order to acquire... so you do actually manage to remember the riddle, despite not having written it down. In order to acquire the key, you'll need to test your heart's resolve and put your faith in an old friend.
Blah, 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 blah.
You can see the glow of the flashlight. You can just barely see through the cracks, but the glow of the flashlight illuminates Mary for a moment, and watch her hand reach up, grab her crucifix, and hold it just over her chest. I don't know what that means, but that's weird. I don't know how to put this, but I've been having some what feels like heart issues lately. And you just watch the color drain from her face for a moment. Oh dear God.
Dear God, I'll pray with you. Let me pray.
There was a note left on my bedside table this morning. Just a few cryptic words. The key to their safety lies within the strength of my heart.
I really hope that that's supposed to be a metaphor, and the key is,
That means more than that. That means this wasn't some spontaneous, we ruined her fun time. This was planned.
Are you
Grace-
sure that it's not like maybe the crucifix is the key? Your faith is the strength of your heart?
She holds up her crucifix for you to look at. She actually takes it off for a second, holds it up. It doesn't come even anywhere near close to matching the drawing that you have. Grace, however, pipes up. What's going on?
You need to go stay with your mother.
Grace has been following Sammy around.
Yeah.
You see Mary wince for a second. Just kind of lower the crucifix back, put it back around her neck, and her hand falls back to the wheelchair.
I just turn really quickly and go, Grace, you didn't happen to have a note on your bedside table this morning, did you?
Nothing that I saw.
Okay, cool.
Everyone, from the Little Holy See, everyone, check your pockets, purses, everything that you have on you right now for anything that you didn't specifically leave this morning with.
You hear that radio speaker crackle to life again.
Time's a-ticking. Tell me, have you found the key yet? Or do you really want to be responsible for the deaths of everyone on this ship?
Who's to say you're actually going to keep your end of the bargain? That you won't blow us up all anyway.
Oh, I might be a lot of things. But breaking a bargain like that or a deal like that is not something I do.
And the speaker crackles into silence once again.
That is a very disrespectful blob. Alright, Adelise can check her pockets.
Okay, that'd be, 1 second, I think, wits plus investigation?
I'm doing the
You know
same.
what, you know what?
Yeah.
Don't worry rolling for it. Oddly, you find nothing in your pockets turning them out. Valerie, you also find nothing. Sammy, however, reaching into one of the pockets of your jacket, you find a knife that doesn't belong to you. You don't know where it came from or whose it is. And 2 more walls slam down on the side that the books were on, cutting you access off from the books altogether, kind of trapping you all in a box of almost solid steel. On one of the walls, you see words. Find the key.
How can we find out if the key is inside a nun? I'm asking the group. In character. In front of the nun who I think realizes there might be a key inside of her.
I was wondering if something like shared senses would let me get a feel of inside the nun.
1 second before we get to that. Sammy, you've got this knife in your hand. You can feel something on the handle. It's almost like it feels like, you're not quite sure. It feels like it's cut into the knife, though.
Since we're trapped with them and everything at this point, she'll walk over to Elizabeth and go, "Shine me your flashlight for a second."
Elizabeth takes the flashlight, shines it over the knife handle, and you see the words carved into the hilt, "Use me."
Her exact reaction when she sees "use me" is her hand, maybe with a little bit of beast still pulsing through her, closes on it, and you almost get the distinct impression she wishes she could just break the thing, but she holds back at least.
Share
Sammy?
the senses. 1 moment while I look that up, please.
Sammy,
What?
please give me the knife. Or just put it down.
I'm not planning on using it, if that's what you mean.
No, I know you're not going to use it. But I would just rather be safe than sorry.
Then she slowly hands it to you. Well, first she flips it around to where it's handle first, and then hands it to you.
Just takes it. Okay. Internally. Okay, we have a knife now. And I'm the only surgeon. So
I mean, we did already have some sharp objects, but I'm keeping them at bay right now.
I mean, like, I have my own knives and, like, scalpels in my bag. I just is like,
Okay, 1 moment, we have something else to resolve before we get there. I believe they have to consume some of your blood for that. Valerie. Basically, here's what it says. By reaching out with their mind, the vampire can tap into the senses of another mortal or vampire, seeing, hearing, and feeling what they do. The user still retains their own perceptions and is still aware of their surroundings, though the effect requires some getting used to. The user decides whether to tap into only one or some or all of the target's senses. When this is used on a stranger, this power requires line of sight to initiate. However, it can be used over longer distances on someone who still has some of the user's blood in their body. 1 second. Difficulty can go up or down depending on distraction, distance, and other factors, such as the amount of the user's blood that remains in the target. The target usually remains unaware of the intrusion, but since the unseen can allow the passenger to be noticed, to get rid of an unwanted rider, the victim must beat a certain roll. It sounds like they have to have some of your blood in order to make that happen.
Or at least to get the results that I want to get.
Yes, and it also requires a rouse check to use, which lines it right up with that. It requires you to make a sacrifice, and you have to feed them that. That's why I said that. I will tell you right now, the holes in the wall are not big enough for you to fit any part of your body through.
Not even a finger?
No. Your fingers are a little too thick. Sorry, Audley, you were saying?
Can anyone with heightened senses listen to her chest and see if maybe something doesn't sound right, like a surgeon? Like, listen to the heartbeat and see if maybe the heart doesn't sound right, or you hear a jingle when it beats?
You can absolutely try to use heightened senses if you wish.
So Audley's going to ask Elizabeth for as a doctor and also as someone with the special abilities of such, would you be able to notice if, there were car keys in someone's heart?
just beep beep. No, so I'll nod to Audley, push all of the, I'll wait, let me look at the nun first, be like, may I put my ear to your chest to see if our hypothesis is real or true?
You can feel her tremble a little bit, and she nods. Vocally, you hear her. Yeah.
Okay. So I push the blood from my eyes to my ears. And then also I quickly ask, do you have any, incisions around your heart or in your armpit that weren't there that were there this morning but weren't there before?
I haven't had any surgery that I know around those parts, but my chest has been hurting a little bit since I woke up.
Okay. So I'm gonna very, as gently as possible put my ear to her chest.
You hear what sounds to be a rather irregular heartbeat, along with all the other bodily fluids.
I'm just going to hold her hand while this is happening.
She squeezes it a little bit. I'm going to get you all to roll me a Wits plus Awareness, difficulty 4, please.
What does 310 get me again?
What is what?
What do 310s get me again?
3 10s get you, so 2 of those 10s double to 4, so that's 5 10s. Elizabeth got a 4. Audley got a 2. Sammy got a 5. Valerie got a 7.
6 is what I got, sorry.
Oh, sorry, 6. Audley, you're squeezing her hand. You can just feel this overwhelming sense of dread wash over you. Almost like anxiety spikes a little bit. And that tightness in your chest that you registered earlier, it increases just a little bit. Almost like it's... You're not sure. As you start to feel a sense of panic overwhelm you. And the beast inside starts to become restless. Channeling through your hearing, you can hear the 2 heartbeats of Grace and Mary Clarence in the room, but you can also hear the ticking of the bomb from the other side of the room. That beeping sound. You get the overwhelming feeling that you just want this to end.
So I'm gonna drop to my knees, keep holding the nun's hand, and just get very quiet, very still, and try very hard to keep it all in.
You feel her hand grip you, like keep a tight grasp. Even for a frail nun of her age, she has a fairly firm grip. And you can feel her grip tighten just a little bit, almost as if she's trying to comfort you.
I'm just gonna say, if you're not already, you should probably be praying, sister, because this is a lot. This is a lot.
My dear, I've been praying since the lights went out.
Oh, good.
That
Okay,
being
that's
said, if it's any consolation, you can just see her kind of grip her crucifix next to her chest for a sec. If it's any consolation, and your running theory is right, I will not be responsible for the death of everyone on this ship. You do what you need to do. And I hold no malice against you for what you need to do.
If it comes to it, I'll be the one to do it, okay?
She doesn't say
I'm just gonna put my other hand in with the two that are holding and just hold her and myself together the best that I can while trying my hardest to push the beast back down.
She doesn't say anything. You do, however, feel her hand again tighten in yours a little bit.
Sammy looks at the conversation a little bit coldly. She's got this...
You're not crying. I'm crying this time, just so you know.
Out of character, we will debrief.
I'm okay. That was just that I watched sad movies earlier, so this was just like one of the moments.
Back into scene.
Sammy looks over at this whole conversation a bit coldly, like clearly she's been analyzing the entire time. Then something occurs to her, and she looks up and says, "Can I have a conversation for a second?"
You hear from the whole, well, I'm not going anywhere.
You hear that speaker crackle to life.
That depends.
You set us a very specific task. The task was to find the key. The task was not... Is the speaker actually physically there, or is it just a noise that we've been hearing the entire time?
You don't know where the speaker actually is. You don't know if it's physical or not.
So she's just looking up. Whatever. The task was not to turn the bomb off. The task was not to unlock the cage. The task you set for us was very simply find the key. Guess what? We found it. Or are you going to take your own task and tell us that there were rules you didn't tell us about? What kind of game is that? That's horrible. That's a crap game. You stole the plot from Saw. What kind of actual person that makes a brilliant game? I'm not insulting anyone that wrote this. I am insulting the in character. Why would any of this actually be a good game? You planned all of this. And guess what? We have technically, by the rules you gave us, won. We found the key. Am I correct or am I not? Argue with me right now.
Out of the corner of your eye, you see Grace watching the scene before you as you just unload on whoever this is. You're not going to kill her, are you?
Absolutely not.
No.
It's a good thing I'm on the other side of the wall.
Interesting question. The rules of the game are sometimes unspoken, are they not?
In whatever game you play, some rules are understood to be unspoken. Why would I make you find the key and threaten you with a bomb that would consume this entire ship and everyone on it if the purpose wasn't to turn the bomb off? Tell me, did you find the key?
We know where it is. We found it.
Do you? How? Do you have any proof? Come on, you are somebody who needs physical, tangible evidence in your line of work, do you not? In order to come to a conclusion like that. Where's your proof?
She holds her hand out for the knife. Let me borrow it.
Just reluctantly hands back knife.
She holds it up. Use me.
That could mean many different things.
Then she thinks about it for a second. What? I swear if this is it, I'm going to be so angry. What does the blade look like?
The blade, upon examination, looks like a serrated blade edge. It does not look like it'll fit in the keyhole.
Read my mind. Thank you. Well, you've given us a very specific set of clues. We've clearly done the first steps. We've retrieved her. Hence, the part with the books in which she was contained has now been locked off. Ergo, we can't do anything here. The knife says, use me. As you said, we figured out that there's something going on with her heart. Has problems with her chest. A clue was left in her room, meaning she is part of this puzzle and not just someone that was just here. It all adds up.
Circumstantial at
It adds.
best. In order to solve this, especially for somebody in your line of work, you need actual proof. You have not finished my game, and you are now wasting precious time. You have just over 20 minutes left. Do you want to die that badly?
You know the plan, Elizabeth.
She hands it back to Elizabeth.
Okay. Goes into bag where much sharper knives are. Okay.
She look.
That also know are sterile. Okay, here we go.
She looks up where the last thing was and says, "You haven't watched enough Taskmaster." And then she turns around and gets to the corner of the room and just has a hissy fit.
I will
What's
give
up?
you credit for trying to talk your way out of this. But that's piss poor detective work.
Maybe the key is just under the skin, and that's why her chest feels so heavy. Maybe it's not like that far in, or maybe it's just like in her robes or something, and she didn't notice.
Are you really willing to gamble Grace's life on that? Look at her.
I'm only willing to do what my friend is comfortable with. She is my friend. And I don't want everyone to die, but I'm going to find a logical solution, as we all will. Whatever
Yes.
your game is.
Yes, Valerie.
Did the GM misspoke or purposefully speak?
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
That was on purpose.
Son of a bitch!
Why is there nothing in this studio for me to throw right now?
Take off your shoe and
I don't have a shoe on.
oh,
Sure do.
So immediately when she says grace, Sammy in her hissy fit just freezes where she was standing. Then turns around and looks up. Why?
Because it's more delicious for me this way. There's a reason I waited until she was in the room.
Oh my god, it's inside Grace.
That or it's just another trick to make us hesitate.
Great.
No offense, sister, but why don't we cut the nun open first and then we'll figure it out if we need to make
Grace
another
seems to
vampire
be-
out of the girl.
Grace seems to be staring off into nothingness, kind of like a 100-yard stare. She blinks. How does she know my name?
She takes her by her shoulders and goes, she knows all of us for some freaking reason. I don't know. Paranormal stuff. That's how it works. I've just gotten used to it at this point.
You see
You
Grace
need to
take-
check if there are any wounds that would indicate a key in an area a key should not be.
You see Grace kind of shake herself. She's just like, okay, new level. I can do this. She just kind of pats herself down. I don't have anything. There's nothing.
Oh dear lord.
I am from the hole. I'm going to point out that we know people on this planet who can mold flesh without leaving a mark. We've established that this is some kind of warped kindred. Who knows what they can do?
Tell me, do
I
you,
mean,
guys still have,
yeah, look at Bone Daddy, right?
do you guys still have the flashlight on?
Thought the
Eliz-
flashlight died. Oh, wait.
The phone
Yeah,
flashlight.
forgot.
Elizabeth. You're talking, trying to piece things together, looking around. You see Sister Mary in her wheelchair and just kind of patting herself down, almost as if she's mimicking Grace, and then she stops over her chest. She pulls back her shirt for a second, and looking over at her, you see what can only be described because of your medical knowledge. You would recognize this instantly as a new patch of skin.
Okay. Alright. What I'm planning on doing is, as quickly as possible, using all I can. We're getting in. We're getting out. We're going in. We're getting out of this person's chest.
Dexterity plus medicine, please.
I also have performance surgical, but I don't know if that's
You know what?
the next
Performance
roll.
that's going to be wits plus performance surgical. Do that. I like that. Difficulty 4.
Wits plus surgical.
And Audley is going to hold both of the nuns' hands now.
She
because
gladly
this is going to be... Yeah, this is going to be hard.
I don't want to kill a nun.
She gladly
The Catholic guilt is already too much.
If anything goes wrong, Audley will go ahead and chomp to make sure that
7 successes.
1 second.
Yeah.
Valerie?
Okay, for something like dominate, like where I can command someone to do something, do I have to be visually there, or can they just hear me? And does anybody else have that skill? Because you can order the nun to be like zen about this. Y'all see where I'm going?
I've got compel.
Yeah, something like that.
Give me 1 second to look into that. Audley, you take the nun's hands, both of them, and she just kind of, again, grips and tightens her grip on you a little bit. Dominate, I'm going to say in this instance, will not work.
Well, unless she goes sideways at the the hole, so that both eyes are seen.
Well, actually, we've got another roll for you to make, Elizabeth.
Oh, shit.
Intelligence plus the human body, please. Medicine.
And if just in case anything does go wrong, Adelie is definitely gonna make sure to be choppy.
Difficulty 6.
And Sammy's already pulled Grace into her arms.
I swear to Flipperb, if I mess up and make a corgi nun, we're all just gonna be laughing hysterically forever.
8 successes! There were doubles!
You spot it mere moments before you cut through the flesh. The right coronary artery is actually wrapped around her heart, and you manage to avoid it just in time.
Oh.
And keep going just a little deeper. Audley, you can see the nun gritting her teeth. You can see she's just as pale as all get out. She turns her head with a little bit of effort to look at you. She says, if it's my time, dear, it's my time. And no offense, I've lived a long life. I don't want to be stuck like this for eternity.
You can also just... Oh, sorry.
You're good people. Until she's having trouble breathing, and her hands start to go a little slack. Elizabeth, your medical training is telling you she's going into shock.
Elizabeth, if you say it, because you're in there, I'll do it. I don't want her to suffer.
I was just gonna say you could give her some of your blood to try to start a healing process.
No,
I don't know how good that's gonna go.
No.
She doesn't want to be turned or changed or anything. She wants to go. That's her wish. If she's not going to come right out of this, let me know.
You can feel that heart start to rapidly convulse. Those of you that are listening hear that irregular heartbeat pick up a little bit.
Do I find anything yet? Or am I still exploring as quickly as possible?
You're still exploring at the moment.
Do I find anything? Am I seeing anything?
Wits plus performance, please.
I'm just going to keep talking to her, telling her, we're here. It's almost over. We've got you.
Difficulty 5. You can tell she's listening. Just barely make it. Your scalpel hits something solid. Something that shouldn't be there. A little bit of probing, however, you can figure that that artery isn't just wrapped around the heart.
Oh shit. And there's no way to get it out
Not from
and
what you
keep
can
her
see.
alive.
Not from what you can see.
She's dying actively.
She's starting to actually fade from the blood loss.
Tick-tock.
I just kind of like look at Ottilie like she's going.
I'm gonna start training her. That way she'll go a bit faster.
Her eyes lock onto Elizabeth as Ottilie starts to drain her. Ottilie, you can feel her start to grow a little cold. Her grip slackens. And a moment later, Elizabeth, you feel her heart stop. Ottilie, that last pump.
I'm gonna slump back and just take a minute on the floor.
You hear
With
her give one last breath. Just a slight whisper on the air. It's cold and I'm scared. Before she falls prone.
I'm just gonna now just with my hands just pull it out.
You grab the key and pull it out, pulling goop, bodily fluids, blood, bits of flesh off of it. And as you're just kind of pulling it out, the handle of the key looks slightly odd. The tip of the key looks like the one that you've got, the diagram that you've got. The other end, however, there's something oddly familiar about it, and you can't quite place it. If you'd like to try and place it, make me a wits plus 1 second. Intelligence plus awareness.
Damn. 5 successes, damn.
That is more than enough. Your difficulty was 4. That heart symbol that's on the picture looks exactly like the symbol on the key. However, inside of that heart is what appears to be a crown with a small cross on the inside and an even smaller cross on the top. This symbol you've seen before, as for a moment you are pulled out of the ship back to a moment when you first met Father Douglas in his office. You remember kind of looking around his room. Your eyes, just a moment, lingered on a leather-bound book on his desk with this same symbol on it. And you are immediately thrown right back into the ship.
While I digest that,
6 minutes, tick-tock.
I'm just gonna push it through the slit. Like, like push it to her. Val!
Make me an int plus academics roll, please, as the key slides through the slot to Val.
I will.
Intelligence
Uh,
plus
sorry.
academics?
For Val.
Oh, sorry.
as you see the key slide through the slot. Difficulty 4. We're going to pause here for a sec while you make your roll. You beat it. Excellent. One moment, please. While I'm grabbing that information for you, what are you doing?
Me? I'm grabbing that key and, putting the key in hole.
You pick the key up from the ledge, looking at it for just a sec, and you move over to that giant cage and you stick your arm through. The design catches you. This is the insignia. That crown is the insignia for Clan La Sombra. You put the key
Now
into
it
the
all
side,
makes sense.
into that hole. You turn it. You hear a click. You hear a whirring sound. That beeping stops. The speaker crackles to life.
Good job. As much as I was hoping to have a rather explosive finish to this. I'm quite pleased that you managed to figure things out. I'm quite pleased that you managed to extricate yourself from this whole situation. I hope you had as much fun as I did. We'll be seeing each other again. You have proven to be better than I expected. That'll do for the first test. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have things to attend to. Oh, and by the way, if you tell anyone that I was here or that I am here, I'm going to out you, the murder of the nun and the crewmates that are in the back hall.
And the speaker crackles closed. The connection crackles closed. The walls, with a grinding screech, slide back up into the roof. The door unlocks. You hear click. The doors slide open, leaving you for a moment just reeling. But that's not all I have for you tonight, because we have one other issue that we need to deal with. Before we shut down tonight's episode, I need you to tell me, we're going to go one by one. I want you to tell me, how do you guys think you did tonight, all things considered? How do you think you dealt with tonight? You took a human life, but you did it at the cost of saving many, many more. We're going to start with Sammy.
Her nights are not going to be pleasant for a couple of them for a while. Let's put it that way.
Elizabeth.
She really tried. Really tried. And then with the help of Adelie made the ending as quick and painless as doing open heart surgery on a bookstore floor could be.
Oddly.
Because of the anxiety that was induced beforehand, Adelie's probably going to be a bit of a jumpy mess for a few days. definitely not the happiest experience, but all in all, I think she'll be okay.
Valerie.
Alright, so, I mean... Val was probably on this side of the wall because she would not have hesitated to cut old lady open. I'm sorry. But on the other hand, I feel other people's... It's... What bothers Val more than anything else at this point is not only is somebody completely fucking up their vacation. Not cool. But... Audley is upset. Sam's upset. Elizabeth is upset. My poopsies are upset, and I am upset. And some Lasombra bitch is gonna die.
I think we found the Coterie mom.
Well, not to mention, we still have like 4 dead bodies around.
Exactly. I have, like, it fucks up our vacation, like, almost first night in, practically. I have upset peoples and a big fucking mess to clean up.
As we work our way towards the ending of tonight, Sammy, you're staring there for a moment. You feel Grace's hands pounding at you on your chest. She looks at you, tears streaming down her face, and you hear her screaming at you. You promised not to kill her. You promised! And that's when I'm going to let you know that you are all taking 2 stains tonight. 1 because you killed a human, and 1 because you killed a friend. And that's where we're cutting tonight's episode off.